Tobit, chapters 8 to 10. When they had finished eating and drinking, they wanted to go to bed, and the young man was taken from the dining room to the bedroom. Tobias remembered Raphael's advice. He went to his bag, took the fish's heart and liver out of it, and put some of it on the incense burner. The odor of the fish distressed the demon, who fled through the air to Egypt. Raphael pursued him there, shackled him, and strangled him forthwith. When the parents had gone out and shut the door behind them, Tobias rose from the bed and said to Sarah, "Get up, my sister. You and I must pray and petition the Lord to win his grace and protection." She stood up, and they began praying for protection, and this is how he began. "You are blessed, O Father, and blessed is your name for all generations and forever. Let the heavens bless you, and all things you have made forevermore. You created Adam, you created Eve, his wife, to be his help and support, and from these two the human race was born. You said, 'It is not good that the man should be alone. Let us find him a helper like himself.' And so I take this sister of mine, not from any lustful motive, but in singleness of heart. Be kind to have pity on her and on me, and bring us to an old age together." And together they said, "Amen, Amen," and lay down for the night. But Raphael got up and called his servants, and they went off and dug a grave, for he thought, "May he not die, to make us a laughing stock and a disgrace." When they finished digging the grave, Raphael went back to the house and called his wife, saying, "Will you send a maid to the room to go and see if Tobias is still alive? For if he is dead, we may be able to bury him without anyone else knowing." They sent the maid, lit the lamp, opened the door, and the maid went in. She found the two fast asleep together. She came out again and indicated, "He's not dead. All is well." Then Raphael blessed the God of heaven with these words, "You are blessed, my God, with every pure blessing. May you be blessed forevermore. You are blessed for having made me glad. What has happened is not what I feared. Instead, you have shown me your boundless mercy. You are blessed for taking pity on two only children. Grant them, Master, your mercy and your protection. Let them live out their lives in happiness and in mercy." And he told his servants to fill the grave in before the dawn broke. He told his wife to make plenty of bread. He went to his flock, brought back 2 oxen and 4 sheep, and gave orders for them to be cooked, and preparations began. He called Tobias and said, "You are not leaving here for 14 days. You are to stay where you are, eating and drinking with me. You will make my daughter happy again after all her troubles. After that, take away a half of all I have and take it safe and sound back to your father. When my wife and I are dead, you shall have the other half. Courage, my boy. I am your father, and Edna is your mother. We are your parents in future, as we are your sisters. Courage, my son." Then Tobias went to Raphael and said to him, "Brother Azariah, take 4 servants and 2 candles and leave for Ragas. Go to Gabriel's house, give him the receipt and get the silver and bring him with you to the wedding feast. You know that my father must be counting the days, that I cannot lose a single one without worrying him. You see that Raphael has pledged himself to do. I am bound by his oath." So Raphael went for Ragas in Media with the 4 servants and 2 camels. They stayed with Gabriel, and Raphael showed him the receipt. He explained to him about Tobias, son of Tobit, and that he had taken a wife and had invited him to the wedding. Gabriel found out the bags to him, and the seals were intact, and they loaded them onto the camels. Early in the morning, they set off together for the feast and reached Raguel's house, where they found Tobias at a table. He sprang up to greet Gabriel, who burst into tears and blessed him with the words, "Fine and excellent son of a fine and excellent, righteous and generous father. The Lord give heaven's blessings to you, to your wife, to your wife's father and mother. Blessed be God for granting me the sight of this living image of my cousin Tobit." Every day, meanwhile, Tobit kept reckoning the days required for the journey there and the journey back. The full number went by, and still his son had not come. Then he thought, is it possible that he has been delayed there, or that Gabriel is dead, so that there is no one to give him the silver? And he began to worry. His wife Anna kept saying, "My son is dead. He is no longer among the living." And she began to weep and mourn for her son, saying, "Alas, I should never have let you leave me, my child. You are the light of my eyes." And Tobit would reply, "Hush, my sister, do not worry. All is well with him. Something has happened there to delay them. His companion is someone we can trust, one of our king's men at that. Do not lose heart, my sister. He will soon be here." But all she could say was, "Leave me alone. Do not try to deceive me. My child is no more." And every day she would hurry out to watch the road by which her son had left. She trusted no eyes but her own. Once the sun had set, she would come home again, only to weep and mourn all night, unable to sleep. After the 14 days of the wedding that Raguel had sworn to keep for his daughter's marriage, Tobias came to him and said, "Let me go now. I know that my father and mother have lost all hope of seeing me again. So I beg you, Father, to let me return to my father's house. I have already explained to you how I left him." But Raguel said to Tobias, "Stay, my son, stay with me. I shall send a messenger to your father Tobit to give him news of you." But Tobias pressed him, "No, I beg of you to let me go back to my father's house." So without much ado, Raguel committed Sarah his bride into his keeping. He gave Tobias half his wealth, slaves, men and women, oxen and sheep, donkeys and camels, clothes, and silver and household goods. And so he let him leave in good condition. He embraced Tobias and said to him, "Good health, my son, and a happy journey. May the Lord of heaven be gracious to you and to your wife Sarah. I hope to see your children before I die." To his daughter Sarah he said, "Go now to your father-in-law's house, since from now on there are as much your parents as those who gave you life. Go in peace, my daughter. I hope to hear nothing but good of you as long as I live." With a final greeting, he let them go. Edna in her turn said to Tobias, "Dear son and brother, may it please the Lord to bring you back again. I hope to live long enough to see the children of you and my daughter Sarah before I die. In the sight of the Lord, I entrust my daughter to your keeping. Never make her unhappy as long as you live. Go in peace, my son. From now on, I am your mother, and Sarah is your sister. May we all live happily for the rest of our lives." And she kissed them both and saw them set out in good condition. Tobias left Raguel's house with his mind at ease. In his gladness he blessed the Lord of heaven and earth, the King of all that is, for making his journey a success. He gave his blessing to Raguel and his wife Edna. "May it be my happiness to honor you for the rest of my life." As they were approaching Cazarin, opposite Nineveh, Raphael said, "You know how you left your father. Let us go on ahead of your wife and prepare the house ourselves while they are still on the way." The two of them went together. Raphael warned Tobias to take the gall with him, and the dog followed. Anna was sitting watching the road by which her son would come. She was sure at once it must be he, and said to her father, "Here comes your son with his companion." Before Tobias reached his father, Raphael said to him, "I know that your father's eyes will open. Smear the fish gall on his eyes. The medicine will smart and will draw a filmy white skin off his eyes, and your father will regain his sight and be able to see the light." Anna ran forward, threw her arms round her son's neck and said, "Now I can die. I have seen you again." And she wept. Tobit rose to his feet and stumbled across the courtyard through the door. Tobias came on towards him with the fish skull in his hand. He blew it into his eyes and said, steadying him, "Take courage, father." With this he applied the medicine. Let it be there for a while, then with both hands peeled away a filmy skin from the corners of the eyes. Then his father threw the arms round him and wept. He explained, "I can see you, my son, the light of my eyes." And he said, "Blessed be God, blessed be his great name, blessed be all his holy angels, blessed be his great name forevermore. May his great name be upon us, and blessed be all his angels of all ages. For he afflicted me, but now I see my son, Tobias." Tobias went indoors, joyfully blessing God at the top of his voice, then told his father everything, how his journey had been successful, how he had brought back the silver, and how he had married Sarah, the daughter of Raphael, and how she was now following him close behind, and could not be far from the gates of Nineveh. Tobit set out to the gates of Nineveh to meet his daughter-in-law, giving joyful praise to God. Then the people in Nineveh saw him walking without a guide and stepping forward as briskly as old, and they were astonished. Tobit described them to their face to face, how God had taken pity on him and had opened his eyes. Then Tobit met Sarah, the bride of his son Tobias, and blessed her in these words, "Welcome, daughter. Blessed be your God for sending you to us, my daughter. Blessings on your father, blessings on my son Tobias, blessings on yourself, my daughter. Welcome now to your home in joy and blessedness. Come in, my daughter." That day brought joy to the Jews of Nineveh, and his cousins Achaia and Nabid came to share in Tobit's happiness.